Okay, I'm back. So they go through purification to cleanse their soul and purify themselves. Almost how we have exorcism, they go through purification. So they don't really have a doctrine in scripture, but they every once in a while they'll have sacred readings, depending on the season and of the festival. And they have their core belief is that God is everything to them. It's there's a rock god. God is everywhere. And there are no dogmas or scriptures or known founder, like I was saying earlier for the sacred readings. So monsters, they have onis, which what I found is they're like ogres, and there's multiple types of onis. Like there's one with one eyes, two eyes. Some of them are depicted to be wielding katanas. What I found is I like Japanese culture books like manga and anime, and oni are commonly used as monsters in both manga and anime in the fantasy genre. So they have mermaids. They're like real mermaids, but some have two heads and they're evil. And then there's tengu, which are bird-like, and drawings and depictions and how they describe them is half crow, half human, and all these monsters are evil. Sorry. So Raiju are feline elementals. They were described as cat-like creatures who, each and every one of them, use a different element like fire, water, thunder. They could be seen as burning down fields or other stuff like that. There's Kuran, which is a minotaur, but that's how I described it. But they're mainly cow. They're not like a bull, like a minotaur. They're like a cow with udders and everything, with a human head. Then in Shintoism, there's lots of dragons. There's even gods that have turned into dragons. But the dragons in Shintoism, they're wingless, unlike our dragons that we use from the medieval times. And then they have kappa, which are evil turtles, which I found to compare them to. Actually, sorry, they're evil turtles, and they sit on the shore and they wait for people to go on the shore. Then they drag them under and drown them. So kami, there's originally there was first were Konito Kotachi and Aminomo Mina Kanushi, who they were born from the chaos, were born from a reed, and they have no gender, and they created Izanagi and Izanami. Izanami was the wife, and she gave birth to most of the gods, but she died in birth, and she was sent to the underworld, which Izanagi, who was the first male god and is the god of creation, was her husband, and he sent down Susanoo and a couple other gods to go save her, but which in the end failed. So next is Matarasu, which is the main god that I found to be. She's kind of like every god that everyone worships. She's the god of the sun. And then originally Susanoo was up in practically their heaven with her, but she did not like him, and he said something that offended her and another god, and she sentenced him to the underworld. And Susanoo is also the god of a lot of other things. And Azumi is the god of dawn. Then there's Yoato no Kami, which is the god of war. Originally, he was a deity of agriculture, and he was the guardian god for a clan. But later on, after slaying monsters and helping his clan, he became the god of war. So Anari no Kami is the god of fertility and rice. She uses foxes as her messengers, and she's just a god that I found interesting and I wanted to include. Okay, so rituals of society. So they view men and women differently for the longest time. For men, they could they really didn't bat an eye when a man cheated on a woman or they were unfaithful, but a woman could never be unfaithful, and men could initiate divorce, but women couldn't. But all that's changed recently with the developing times, and that was from a long time ago, from when that was mainly viewed. But I just wanted to include that for the history. So sexuality, from what I found, is that they don't really care. They've never viewed it from some of the more rural societies. It could be viewed negatively, but that's all I found. They really don't have any problems with it. So what the cool thing I had was conversions. So there really is no marked conversion for Shintoism. It's just one day you decide, I'm Shintoism. I identify as being a part of Shintoism, which I found was cool. Instead of for our baptisms. Sorry, I just couldn't think at all. So shrines, they have a lot of shrines there. The number of shrines go into the hundreds of thousands, if not more, and they're dedicated to one or many gods. Usually, it's just one god where the shrine is dedicated to them, and you go there to worship that god to say like you go to the god of study if you want to pass a midterm or anything of the like. And gods are said to live in the shrines. That's why it's important to take care of the shrines, and they have shrines are maintained by shrine maids, and they keep it clean. They either live on the shrine or near the shrine to maintain it, and they have rituals to raise money for the shrine and maintain it. So, shrines are not for worship, but a lot of them are meant for the keeping of sacred items. Kind of like in some of the churches, how we have uh, remnants of saints or other stuff that's very important to our religion. So, thank you. That's it, and goodbye.